Yeah, that's your water, by the way.
Oh, thank you for the water. The word of the day is how you shoko.
Not just decoration. We are transformation. Transformation.
Huh? I didn't clap yet.
In the beginning was a garden.
I can take the loving arms.
This is Garden Studios. Welcome home.
Ready? I have such a loud clap. What was that? I have such a loud clap. Can you do it? Hold up, that's not. It's normally a lot. It's normally a lot louder. It's like there's a. Like they can do it twice.
This is Garden Studios. Welcome home.
Welcome to another episode of Garden Studios podcast. Today my brother is our guest. Before I say his name, I just want to introduce him. Can I do an interpretive dance over you?
No.
Okay. Okay, I feel rejected. No, but this man has been in our lives since we moved here in Reading. He's been
2
there.
years ago.
He's been 2 years ago. Yeah. He's been here in the thick. I wish I could say thin. He's been here in the thick. Just the thick.
Somebody bury me.
And yeah, he's been there in our good times and bad times. He's one of the funniest people I know, and he's also one of the most. Sorry, I was gonna say something funny, but I'll also say that for later. He's one of the best singers I know, also. And he has a heart for the people that don't have a voice for their own. And yeah, we've made jokes about people being activists. This man is an actual activist. I used to, in the past podcast I said I'm just active, so I'm just active. Yeah, but anyways, like this man is legit. So without further ado, let's put our hands together for Jordan Black.
That's my real last name, by the way. He's not being racist.
Dude, thanks for coming, man.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a family conversation.
Yeah. We're just chilling. We're all a little shiny today because it's how hot is it?
It's 1:15 today.
Today's the hottest day in Reading so far this
I
summer.
tell you what, I don't want to go to hell. This might be a little taste.
Right. No, it's offensive sometimes. Like I feel
I feel like I'm in the oven.
yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It feels like an attack. You know, when you go outside, it's really hot. I get real moist.
Not that word.
But
That word.
So today we usually start out our podcast with a game called Word of the Day.
Okay.
So Word of the Day is where we take a word that we don't usually use, but it's in the English dictionary.
Okay.
And whoever uses it first within the podcast somehow, some way, wins the Word of the Day. But it has to be natural. You can't just yell it out, blurt it out. If you do, people can veto you and be like, nah, that wasn't good. And it doesn't count, right? And so you have to make it feel natural. So today's word of the day is, let's get a drum roll, hemi, demi, semi-quaver.
Wow.
Yeah. It
I
sounds
think
like,
this is the longest word we've ever had.
doesn't it sound like a monster from Stranger Things? Do you watch Stranger Things?
I don't,
Okay.
but I've heard great things.
It's a great show. Demonic. Can I just say that?
Oh,
It became demonic. So
it did.
if you're a
Last
feeler,
season.
don't watch it. Right? Because it'll show up in your dreams. But so hemi, demi, semi-quaver, what it means is it's a 64th note in music. So you know how there's like a whole note? A whole note is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then a half note is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter note is like 1, 2, 3. Eighth note is like 1, 2, 3, 4.
So what's the 64th?
64 notes in a 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really fast.
Wow.
And so whoever can incorporate hemi, demi, semi-quaver in this podcast wins today's challenge. And that's activated now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is a challenge is winning the challenge being in air conditioning?
Yes. So we get to turn on the air conditioning if you win.
Amen.
We had to just for our viewers, we have to turn it off in this 115-degree weather, or else these microphones
We'll pick up the sound.
Yeah, it sounds like yeah.
Right.
But today we're going to be talking about a subject that's actually very serious. We're barely serious in this podcast, But today, I can't laugh that much. I shouldn't laugh that much because it's actually serious. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a real problem.
Yeah.
And it is mental health. Oh, sorry.
Reverse.
That's cool. The drum roll after I like that.
Yes.
Mental health.
Yes.
And I never knew how much of honestly, I'm oblivious. Like, cause I don't feel like I go through it. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm just oblivious. I'm not. I don't know that I am. But I haven't really experienced that much personally. But I have seen it in my family. I have someone in my family that's very close who will be not named, who suffered through bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And numerous other things. But so I have seen it, but not quite personally in my own life. Maybe certain seasons. So yeah, mental health is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Did I say mental disorders?
No, you
No.
said mental
Okay,
health.
mental health. I thought, okay, yeah.
I mean,
So
some
mental
people
health.
got them,
Yeah.
but that's not what you
I
said.
mean, it's a part of it, right?
Yeah.
That's
It
the
is.
negative side
Absolutely.
of it. So, yeah, I mean, mental health. I mean, you're Jordan, by the way, is a songwriter, singer. How is that? I've noticed that a lot of creatives tend to struggle with mental health.
Yeah.
I like that, which is I feel like almost everybody. I've never met a creative that hasn't had at least a season where they really struggled with mental health, whether depression or anxiety.
Yeah.
How has that been like for us, like for you guys, like dealing with that, and how has like your medium helped, or has it helped? Like writing, has that helped you?
It's definitely helped because you have to remember that we're in a not yet, but we're God willing approaching a post-COVID world where things were shut down and isolation was prevailing. So we really had to gain a lot of tools in order to be okay. Because if it wasn't your trauma, it was collective trauma. So you had to navigate yours, family members, what was in the media, what you heard happen to a family member. It was extremely traumatic.
Right.
And we still are kind of in that space. So as creatives, we are very in tune and attuned to our own emotional worlds, maybe a little bit too much. So whereas others lean towards apathy or being checked out or, just not being connected to their own heart at all, we live in that space. So anything that happens, we are not only aware, but we are very much so, we're very much so affected by what happens in our internal world because we literally live from that place. And the life that we live and the way we navigate life is from the abundance of that deep place. So we struggle gravely.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously we just are on our way out, like you said, out of the pandemic. Like how's, I mean, for me, can I be honest?
Yeah.
It was a nice season for me.
Hey.
Because I like to be alone. And I did nothing but play video games during the pandemic.
After you got sick, though.
After I almost died.
That was intense.
You sure
Yeah.
did.
We
I was calling them the African angels because I didn't know what was going to happen to you.
Yeah, so it was bad. Like
Yeah.
But I have a theory, okay, with mental health and how it affects creatives. And this is secondhand information. Okay. So because like there's a lot of great, amazing artists, amazing musicians. A lot of them have mental health issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wrote down a few: Charles Dickens, Kurt Cobain, Vincent Van Gogh, Francisco de Goya, Frida Kahlo, Ernest Hemingway, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
All world-renowned artists, musicians, and everyone knows they've struggled, and some of them sadly have ended their life because of what their struggles.
Amy was one of my absolute favorite singers ever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No. Telling me to go. Right. She's great. I love her tone. So this is a quote from Scientific American, which is a famous science magazine. Studies of artists and writer collected in the Scientific American confirm that artists and writers are up to 20 times more likely to suffer from bipolar disorder, also called manic depressive illness, and 10 times more likely to suffer from depression. New study finds that 73% of independent musicians suffer from symptoms of mental illness. 73% of independent musicians have experienced stress, anxiety, and or depression in relation to their work. And new study has found, that's all, I cut out the rest of it. But that's crazy, dude. 73% of musicians struggle with it, and artists are 20 times more likely to suffer from bipolar disorder. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I have a theory. Let me know what you guys think. I told Mattel this earlier, and she was very against it, and we got into a fight.
Oh.
We didn't really get into
It was a mild. It was a mild fight.
It was more of a debate.
I shut the door on you. I locked the door, right? Did I do that?
No.
I mean, I saw some dishes broken. I just
Yeah,
thought that was an
okay,
accident.
that's not supposed to be said, Jordan. That's not for the viewers. I'm just kidding. So I was looking in. I was doing a little bit of research about why creatives are so likely to have mental disorders, and this is what I came up with, right? And by the way, just to let you guys know, I'm not a doctor. Neither of us are doctors. We're not therapists.
At all.
We're not experts at this, but this is just our 2 cents, okay?
Yes.
So, yeah, eat the meat, spit out the bones. So, in our brain, there's this thing called the precuneus, okay? Precuneus. So, the precuneus is used to remember memory and to think and to imagine the future. So, if you're imagining the future, you're using your precuneus, okay? So when someone's just thinking regularly, like, what should I eat today? Do I want Chipotle? I gotta pay the bills. They're not using their precuneus. But when a creative person is thinking creatively, studies have shown that the precuneus is highly active. So here's my theory. I feel as though my theory is that the precuneus is a gateway to imaginative thinking. Right, because the precuneus, when you imagine the future or think about the past, you're using your precuneus, and it's a gateway for creative thinking because you're imagining, which is great that you're imagining. So it creates, it brings you to an effective and efficient way of being creative, and that's what I think that's the gateway to problem solving, to being creative, and all that. But I think it also is the gateway to imagining bad things.
Right.
So you guys ever like sometimes Mattel doesn't answer her phone when we're not together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, did she get hit by a car? Did she get into an accident? Oh my gosh, she got arrested. Did someone planted cocaine in her? You know, all the craziest thoughts.
Mighty Shepherd.
Like every single thing.
Yeah.
At that moment, I'm imagining a future. I'm using my precuneus, that part of my brain. So, and it's crazy how that same part of the brain is the same part where we think of problem solving skills. We think creatively when we're songwriting, when we're building things. That's the same part of the brain. So my theory is that because creatives are so prolific at using that type of their brain, they're also using it subconsciously for the wrong reasons, thus creating more mental disorders. What do you guys think? Do I sound like a doctor?
Interesting.
Thank you. I got snaps. No snaps from her. Yes.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm just
Use your
I'm
precuneus.
processing
Right.
everything you said, because it's just like a lot of information.
It was. It's my thesis statement.
Lord have mercy.
It's pretty good. I believe in it. I call it the Paul's precuneus theory.
PPT.
Yeah, I can see some of it like happening, or like where you use that part of your brain so much that you ever see like kids who just makes up stories.
Yes,
They're
that was
like
me as a kid.
They just like
Same.
they're like lying,
Yeah.
but basically they're just being very creative.
Right.
So it's like you come up with all these things in your head. And so I think what the problem is learning how to filter out those thoughts.
Right. So that's the question. How do we take care of our precuneus? You know what I mean? We all got a precuneus.
Yeah.
So what's a good way? So how can an artist or creative stay away from that negative side of the spectrum of imaginative thinking by using their what is it called, precuneus? Yeah, I mean, I know you've been inviting me to what's it called, wiffle ball,
Pickleball.
pickleball.
Get it right.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
And how's that been for you, as far as mental health and just has that helped at all? Is that more like a fun thing? I mean, fun is a big part of it. How's that been for you?
It's a huge part of it. I think for me as a creative, as an Enneagram 4, Lord have mercy, and as I don't want to use Christianese language, but as someone that is very perceptive of the world around me and connected to the world around me, and just aware, I'm hyper aware. I have to be very intentional about building tools first and foremost as a human, not as a creative, but as a human, to where I can go to those spaces and places of pain and not be overtaken. So for me, I play a lot of pickleball. I'm in the gym like 5 days a week. And those are practices and disciplines that I have to make sure that I'm good first and foremost. What every human alive is wanting and what they're after, we all have very different, various ways of going about this, but we are all made and hardwired for connection and belonging. So if you don't establish those like systems and disciplines and being around positive and reciprocal relationships, if you don't remember anything else I say, viewers, being around positive and reciprocal relationships are likened to being with a therapist, because you have safety, you have belonging, you actually feel like there's a place in this world where you belong. And you have to establish those things first before you dive off the deep end of creativity. You need to be fortified in belonging. So that's what it is for me in attending my church, in building community with you guys. Pickleball, it's not so much the exercise is great because it releases endorphins and all of this neurological stuff, but it's actually like the people that I play with and the community that's built to where I'm like, oh, I'm not just hitting a pickleball, I belong.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's interesting that you say it's the community, right? That's what it's about. I feel like a lot of creatives find their sanity in doing their art also, in that they use their art for connection.
Yeah.
Their writing is their way of connecting with people. Their art is their way of connecting with people. I think you mentioned, babe, in a previous podcast that when you paint, it's therapeutic. So yeah. I think for me though, as far as like how do I upkeep my mental health, there's been two things that really helped me. There's this book by Julia Cameron. It's called The Artist's Way. And there's this things called morning pages. And you might have heard of it. I think a lot of people have kind of adopted it into their own style and change the name of it. But basically, when you first wake up, the first 45 minutes, your brain isn't fully awake yet, even though your body is. And so you write 3 pages of unfiltered thoughts. And that unfiltered thoughts, you just write, I just woke up, I gotta go poop, whatever, I'm hungry, I gotta pay the bill today, whatever. And usually it turns into a rant somewhere in there, and you start putting down all your worries and whatever, and just naturally does that. And then you do that for 3 pages every day. And I found that when I first started this, I thought it was so dumb, like, it's so silly. Like, I'm writing down how hungry I am. I'm writing down how I'm sleepy. And it starts to turn into this thing where I put down all my anxiety on the page. And I actually feel so much lighter, like, throughout the day. When I started doing it, I feel as though I'm leaving my worries on the page. I'm like, okay, I feel lighter now. Like, I don't have to carry it for the rest of the day. Yeah. And also, what I noticed is when I started doing it, I feel more self-aware. Like, you guys ever, like, I used to be the person where I never know what I'm feeling. Like, if someone says, hey, how are you doing? I have to be like, I think I'm okay, but I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? But
Let me get back to you.
Right. No, for sure, because I really don't know. And if I want to give a genuine answer, I can't. I actually can't. But after doing the morning pages, I feel as though I know what I'm feeling. Yeah. And I know what my needs are, and I know exactly how I'm doing at that moment. Yeah. And also, the second thing that's helped me, also from the Artist's Way, is artist dates. So Julie Cameron was saying in her book how she recommends her students to take one day out of the week, and it could be an hour or two, where you go off alone and basically go explore. And it could be going hiking. It could be going to the museum. It could be going to the library. Whatever is fun for you. Go by yourself. It's kind of recharge. And she kind of uses it as a way of. She used a metaphor about a lake. You have to fill the lake with fish so that you can fish out of that lake or something like that.
Right.
I definitely butchered that. But like
Sorry, girl.
Right. Sorry, Julia. But yeah, just kind of filling your well. So you have more things to pour out when you're working and you're whatever your creative medium is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like so important because I feel like one thing with mental health is when you don't allow yourself to actually, like you mentioned, like sit in that pain. That's one thing I've learned like actually recently. Before I would just take everything that's going on and just like shove it down and like just like pretend like everything is okay, and then out of nowhere I like explode because I don't know, something small, like someone dropping a pen or something, and I'm like crying and not realizing it's just because I've
you've hit me before.
I have not. Stop.
Sorry,
choking.
that's not a joke, guys. I'm so sorry. This is not a joke. Can I just say that?
Yes, it is a joke.
This subject is not a joke.
Y'all need your own episode.
Try to get me in trouble.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Amber Heard. I mean, babe.
Don't be joking. But seriously, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's like just learning to feel what you need to feel, but knowing when it's time to like kind of take a step forward or like do something for yourself, like to better yourself. So like you have to learn the balance between feeling those feelings but not letting them overtake you or prevent you from moving on and going forward.
Right.
No, you really have to come up for air. You have to come up for air, because if it's all about being fixed, you become your own project. And I don't know how productive that is. We're human beings.
Right.
So you have to, I always have to remind myself that I have permission to be. I don't have to constantly aspire to become this better version of myself.
Right.
I can just follow a process.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm just thinking now, another thing that's kind of helped me with my precunious thinking is actually being thankful. Sometimes when sometimes we do the thing, right, babe? Like we name 5 things we're thankful for, and that's a shout out to Melissa and what's her name? Jonathan Helzer. They have the thing from the 18-inch journey where they name 5 things. Or I think they do 10 things. I just do 5 things that we're thankful for, and it actually shifts how we think throughout the day. And I think that's just our, let's say the precunious thing. Precunious is like a spectrum. It kind of turns us into a good imaginative thinking again, because then we realize how blessed we are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's a balance for sure, because you can lean towards positivity that becomes toxic to where you're blind and deaf to literally everything happening around you. And you're like, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm hemorrhaging. But then, you can also practice gratitude because, not to sound new agey to my Christians, but energy is real. And,
you got the crystals?
No, I ain't got no crystals. But no, energy is real, and intention and mindfulness and all of those things are real. And we could definitely learn a lot from Eastern religions. Obviously, Jesus is core and centric, but we can learn a lot from just mindfulness and actually asking yourself, what am I thinking on? What am I meditating? What thoughts do I allow to grow trees in my mind,
For sure. That's good. Yeah. Well, with that being said, we're going to move on to our viewer questions. Okay. We have a couple of them. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take turns. This first question, let's see. This first question is actually from my nephew.
That's adorable.
Joshua, let's just say Joshua O. from New Jersey. If you could have one mythical animal as a pet, what would you have? Mythical. Mythical is like gargoyles and like Pegasus,
a unicorn, a Pegasus.
Mythical. Okay.
I don't know.
I think for me it'd be Bigfoot. Is that allowed?
I guess so.
This your podcast.
Around this area that we live in, they have we have Bigfoot conferences around here.
Bigfoot who now?
Bigfoot conferences where Bigfoot believers get together and they talk about Bigfoot. I don't know what goes on in it, but it's about Bigfoot.
Oh.
And if I had a Bigfoot, in our house that I've trained, right? He only listens to me. I can make so much money off the Bigfooters. I could just be like $20 to see the Bigfoot, and that's just like all the time. That's like I don't have to work. You know what I mean? So it would be Bigfoot for me.
Amen.
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
For me, probably Pegasus, because I do like horses, and it could fly. So.
But you hate heights. You didn't think this through. You didn't think this through. Okay, that's all right.
Maybe a unicorn. Oh wait, do they fly? I don't know.
Unicorns don't fly, but they have horns.
So yeah.
So unicorn.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Jordan?
It would probably be some like mythical songbird of sorts, you know, hit that quick hemi, demi, semi, quaver, and you know,
Oh my.
and teach me musicality, kind of like Cinderella. You know, she used to be with all them little birds and the rats.
Hold on, pause.
Huh?
You can't win it and keep on going. That was beautiful.
You have to do the mic drop.
Don't drop the mic. That's a $400 mic, and it's not ours. It's borrowed. So thank you, Marcus Burton. But the winner of Word of the Day is Jordan Black.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. So songbird that does notes in hemi, demi, semi quavers. Wow. So what would that sound like? Like what would that sound like?
Tourette's.
Oh, right. Man. Okay. Well, our next question is from Christian M. from Austria.
Nice.
How to overcome the fear of showing off your skills, like owning your skills?
Oh, that is such a great question.
It is a great question. So for me, and I grew up in church, and the thought is always you have to be humble.
Right.
Which
False humility, though.
right, like even though I can do
Soldier Boy, tell him.
even though I can do like run, oh yeah, like that was pretty good, right? Right. I don't do that in church before.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, oh, that's showing off.
Right.
But the Lord gave me that. Whoa, yeah, wow.
All right. Tony Braxton.
Don Hathaway right there. That's Don Hathaway. No, but like for me, like like excellence is not showing off.
Right.
It's stewarding what you've been given to the best that you can. So like if you want to lead worship and do some runs, sure thing, I think it all comes down to motive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can never tell from a person, or else, you know, I mean, sometimes you could, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a few, but like, I think it comes down to motive. Like, why are you gonna be playing that guitar solo? Why are you gonna be doing that? Why are you gonna sing, do that run? I think it comes down to motive. But dude, I'm all for seeing excellence and artistry. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's the way how we can move on to the new sound in worship context, just to find the new sound. Yeah. If we don't explore, if we don't go off what's already been done, if we don't scare some people, we're never gonna get to that new sound. And so I'm all for it. I like it. I'd rather offend some people than stay the way we are.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Point blank.
Yeah, and for me, that's what I was thinking. Like, we grew up with the definition of humility as in lowering yourself and, like, not being like, showing off the best you can do. But the true humility is actually being the best you can do because you're actually bringing more glory to God. And it's not in, like, oh, I'm better than you or whatever, but it's just realizing, hey, God gave me this talent, so let me use it to the best of my ability so I can actually steward it well. Because how can you grow if you're actually not doing the best you can? You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
So, like, for me, it's just like you said, it's your mentality on why you're doing what you're doing. It's not to show off, but it's to give glory to God, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
Point blank period. I think people that require you to be small don't know that they can be big.
Ooh,
seriously.
Say that twice, Bishop.
Seriously. And I have, it's the bane of my existence. I have dealt with that my whole life, of being a bigger personality, of being musical, of being theatric. I mean, I'm black. That's the way we hardwired. Like, everything is bigger than life. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we just need to stop managing each other. Let people exist in how they come, in their story, in their vibrancy, in their color, in their rhythm. Like, let people exist. There's just so much management in Christendom, not that because I don't like to just feel like we're having conversations stuck in the four walls, but it's like there's just so much management, and we need to let people exist in how they come. Right. Me being big does not automatically make you small, and people need to realize that there truly is space for all of us at the table. Yeah. We spend so much time fighting for our chair, and it's like, just take a seat.
Right.
And I'm going to do it the way I do it, which is not better or worse. It's just different. It's me. But take your seat, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what breeds that is comparison. Because as artists, we like to compare because we have so many people we look up to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so because we look up to them, we like to compare, like, okay, am I there yet? How can I be more like them? But the thing is, you can't have comparison without having competition. Oh. And so I think just ending comparison on its own and just grow by yourself, like not
just
by
be
yourself,
confident who you are.
Yeah.
But what even is comparison? I feel like comparison is a construct because there are people alive that live and breathe that think Beyonce sucks. Like, absolutely sucks, hate the sound of her voice, don't think she can dance, don't think anything. And for me, it's like, okay, if you don't think she's a great vocalist, to each of their own, but you can't deny her star power, that she's probably the best entertainer out right now. Yeah. Like, just the level of excellence that she operates from, like, you can't deny her that. But people really think that. And to each their own, though. Right. So that's why comparison to me is such a weird notion, because everything is so subjective about artistry. You have people that one considers great and the other considers trash. Yeah. I have people that are like, I've been told a lot, Jordan, you got an amazing voice, you got this, you got that. I've also been told that I suck multiple times. Who's right and who's wrong? I don't know.
Start naming those people. We'll just put up a list right here of the people that said Beyonce sucks and Jordan sucks, and their addresses. There we go.
We about to pull up.
But yeah. So just to sum all that up,
do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
Do you, boo-boo.
And advocate for your mental health. Create systems of sustainability for you to be okay. Be around safe, reciprocal relationships. I just have to get this out because the topic is mental health, and I just kind of want to steer it back there. Like, no one can advocate for you the way you can yourself. And if you don't create systems of sustainability, like not just being okay and not just happiness, because we all know happiness is fleeting, but joy and peace and a sound mind, those are things of sustainability that we have to work on. And, I see a lot of people that, everything they do is attributed to accomplishment and achievement and the American dream. And I'm like, I know a lot of wildly successful people that are wildly miserable. So cater to your own heart, give your heart a voice, especially as men, because we're taught from yay high that if you give your heart a voice, I'm not going to mention that word, but you're not a man.
What's that word? I don't know that word.
I'm definitely not saying that online because I want to be invited back. But you are a wimp if you happen to give your heart a voice. But when we as men, especially men, take ownership of our hearts and our inner worlds, we treat our wives better, our kids better. We have tools to sit with our kids when our kids are not doing well and they have questions and they're, troubled. We can sit with them and actually have tools to meet them where they're at.
Right.
Instead of, boy, if you don't shut up, you know what I mean? So you advocating for your mental health is advocating for the world around you. Yeah. So please do it.
And when you advocate for yourself, you become a better father. And all of a sudden, we have a society where fathers are it's normal for them to be at home, to be great fathers. All of a sudden, we have a better generation, better future.
1,000,000%. And all of a sudden, even in wake of what's been happening culturally, when we do our thing of dismantling this patriarchal thinking that we are better and smarter and more efficient than women, shout out to my shirt.
Yeah, do it.
I'm wearing this shirt for a reason, but we're not threatened when a woman is powerful. We're not threatened when a woman takes space because we've done our own inventory and we take the position of championing them and cheerleading them and leveling the playing field and bringing true equality because we've worked on our own stuff.
So you're wearing your shirt right now. Women are powerful.
Women are powerful.
Is that is that for Unified Revival?
No, this is not my line at all. This is, I think the brand is called One DNA. One DNA. I got it from my friend Ellie that I love very much.
Give him a shout out
to
real
you.
quick. Yeah. Shout out to Ellie. What's her company name? Women Are Powerful. Is that her company name?
No, Ellie just bought me this shirt for my birthday.
Gotcha.
And Ellington is what she is on Instagram. Amen.
Gotcha. You want to talk about Unified Revival?
I haven't really been on there like that. I mean, it definitely stands for bringing biblical justice back to Christendom again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand how we've been in this spiritual climate where women don't have a voice, Black people don't have a voice, people in the LGBTQ community don't have a voice, all in the name of Jesus.
Right.
When Jesus didn't defend his Christian borders, he entered their story. Woman with the issue of blood, Mary Magdalene, he entered story.
Right.
We're so busy standing on our posts defending out of fear all the things that we need to defend as Christians.
Yeah.
And Jesus simply loved the person in front of him. And there were no prerequisites to his love.
Right.
So that's with Unified Revival, just bringing back balance and equity and all of those things.
That's awesome. And now, for our viewers, where can they find your music?
Oh, you know, I only have one single out called Black Tears, and that meant a lot to me because it really was that like neurological release that I needed. The song is talking about tears and talking about what is that word? It's like a groan. The song acted as a lament to release all of the emotions that come up when you see a Black person executed in broad daylight just for being Black. So, you know, Black folk, we have endured so much through the generations that we have never felt permission to feel what we need to feel because we're constantly in fight or flight.
Yeah.
So imagine, you know, constantly being in that space of I'm just trying to be okay. You don't develop in those spaces. There's no space for real, like, you know, and we're resilient people, so we're joyful. But when you're constantly in fight or flight, there are massive ramifications neurologically. And we've been talking about mental health.
Right.
So that song was like a release, and it's on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, everywhere.
So check that out, guys. We're going to leave a link down below for Black Tears and Unified Revival. So go follow Jordan Black. He's amazing.
Yay.
With that being said, we're going to move on to our last segment.
Okay.
Which is, we'll do the drum roll for this time. Ready? 1 minute portrait.
Lord Jesus.
Okay, so everyone grab a clipboard and a marker.
I don't know how to draw at all. My creativity is in other places.
I'm not very good at drawing either. Only poets.
Okay, so I don't want to brag or anything, but I won the last one.
Of course you did.
What we did was we put it up on our social media on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, and people get to vote which one they like the most.
Okay.
So I drew Mattel last time, so I think I'm gonna draw you this time.
And then I draw you.
And then you draw me, and you draw Mattel. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let me put a timer real quick, so nobody cheats.
Oh, Jesus.
Where's the timer at? Timer. Hey Siri, there it is. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ready, set, go.
I'm so bad at this. Like, I'm actually horrible at this. Make me beautiful now. It's Black History Month. Make me look right, y'all. Oh, Lord. I already messed up.
Oh, that's a lot of markings there, bro. Hold on.
Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, let me just move on.
We got 4 seconds. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, well, let's give ourselves another 20 seconds because that was crazy. Another 20 seconds. Ready, set, go. I'm going off now.
Oh, Jesus, have mercy.
Going off now. Oh
She looked like ZJ from that little girl that you found on Google. You still ain't right for that, by the way. Zephaniah, if you see this, Paul's not right.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible. All right, sign it, guys.
Okay. I gave you luscious locks.
We're done.
Thank you.
Dang, girl.
All right, who wants to go first? I'm so ashamed. Okay, I'm not ashamed. You know what? Because I battle. We rebuke
I showed
perfectionism.
mine.
Oh shoot. Okay, babe, go first.
This is Paul.
Okay. I've no. Okay, go ahead. Just present it. Talk to us about your piece.
So this is his little beard going on. His
Okay.
hat. His eyebrows. I don't know. It's missing some hair, but it's all right. This is my drawing.
Thank you. Okay. I'll go first, or you want to go?
You definitely go first.
So this is supposed to be Jordan,
Oh, Jesus.
and it turned into an Asian woman, and I just put a beard on it.
Okay, my bandana, and I like it. It's like abstract, and
Abstract,
it
yes.
gives me Yu-Gi-Oh vibes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, let's see. Okay, before you present it, I just this is my wife, whom I love. So I get really sensitive when people draw her.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
I just put hearts around her, and
Oh, show it to the camera. Okay. Why that
You're
look
a
like
wom- you're a
that
wom-
looks like Nicki Minaj?
Lord have mercy. This is one of the boys in the booming system. Mattel is a woman of love. She has a lot of love to give, and a lot of love that is
Right.
extended to her. And then I made sure I gave you luscious locks as if you in a Pantene commercial.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying, girl? Let it flow.
Shout out though that you're the only person that have done this that put a background, the backdrop of hearts. No one's ever thought of that.
See,
You
it's
use
like an
your
emoji for a drawing.
You use your percussion?
Procrastination.
What is it? What my theory?
Percussion.
Percolate.
You
Precursor?
percolated. You were percolating. You use your precunious.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Kuna Matata.
Well, with that being said, Jordan Black, thank you, sir, for
Thank you.
coming here, and thank you for watching us and joining us. And love you guys. And
Not just,
toodles.
not just decoration. We are transformation. Transformation.
Oh my gosh.
In the beginning was a garden. This is Garden Studios. Welcome home.